All right, today we're diving deep into one of the most brilliant and honestly one of the most tragic master plans in all of fiction, the Zero Requiem. I mean, really think about that. This is the whole puzzle of Lelouch Lamperouge, a guy who wanted to create a kind and gentle world, but figured out that the only way to get there was through absolute, unforgivable cruelty. So let's break down how he became the villain to save everyone. So our story kicks off with a young prince, Lelouch, who's been exiled. He's living in a world completely dominated by this massive, oppressive superpower, the Holy Britannian Empire. And then everything changes. Lelouch gets this incredible power called Geass. Now, with just a single command, he can make anyone do anything he wants. Suddenly, he has the ultimate weapon to fight back against the empire that threw him away. But he doesn't just start a fight. He puts on a show. He creates this masked persona, Zero, and becomes this incredible symbol of revolution. He's not just a soldier. He's an idea that inspires millions to fight for a better world, especially for his little sister. But a fight for justice like this, well, it always comes with a terrible price. And that price starts to eat away at the man behind the mask. Look, every single victory he wins is built on a mountain of lies and manipulation. His strategic mind is frankly off the charts, but it forces him into these impossible corners. And tragically, it's the people he cares about most who end up paying the highest price for his crusade. Eventually, Lelouch has this huge realization. Just winning the war isn't enough. It's not going to break the world's endless, vicious cycle of hatred. So he makes a choice that nobody, not his friends, not his enemies, could have ever seen coming. After he takes the Britannian throne, he starts by tearing down all the old corrupt systems. But then he does a complete 180. He takes all that power and consolidates it for himself, becoming the world's one and only absolute tyrannical ruler. So to the entire world, he became the very thing he swore to destroy. He was a monster, the enemy of all mankind. But this was all just an act. The monster the world saw was actually a savior in disguise, pulling the strings of his secret master plan. And this final massive performance had a name: the Zero Requiem. So what does that actually mean? Well, it really breaks down into two key parts. First up, Zero. The mask wasn't just his identity anymore. He saw it as an inheritance, a symbol to be passed on to his greatest friend and rival, Suzaku Kururugi. The goal was for the idea of Zero to live on forever as a protector of peace. And then there's Requiem. A requiem is basically a funeral song, right? This was meant to be the funeral for the tyrant Lelouch. See, by making every single person on Earth hate his guts, he made sure that when he died, all of that focused anger, all that desire for revenge, would just die with him. Lelouch never wanted to rule the world. He wanted to reboot it. He decided to unite all of humanity, not through hope, but through a shared, burning hatred for one common enemy: himself. So, with the stage perfectly set, the entire world watching, and every nation united in their fear of him, Lelouch kicked off the final, tragic phase of his plan. It all goes down during this massive public parade where he's about to execute his enemies. The final act begins. Suzaku, now disguised as the hero Zero, storms the parade and, in front of the whole world, publicly assassinates the emperor everyone despises. It had to be a huge public spectacle for the plan to work. And in his final moments, as he's dying, Lelouch gives Suzaku his last command and his punishment. Suzaku has to give up his own life, his own identity, and live on as Zero, forever protecting the new peaceful world they created. Think about that. Suzaku is forced to live while Lelouch gets the release of death. As he's bleeding out, his sister Nunnally touches his hand, and in that one instant, she understands everything. She sees the whole truth behind his reign of terror, that it was all one long, calculated, selfless sacrifice to give her and the entire world a future of peace. And the craziest part? It actually worked. With the great evil gone, the world's energy just shifted. People stopped focusing on war and started working on things like hunger and poverty. An age of unbelievable peace began, all built on the sacrifice of a man everyone remembers as a monster.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question about his legacy, right? He committed truly unforgivable sins, no doubt about it. But he did it all to create a perfect world. He chose to be hated by everyone, sacrificing his name, his life, his entire legacy, just so the world could finally have the peace he always dreamed of. So, what do you think?